everyone, Morgan here from For the Love of Paper, and I am doing a 12 by 12 layout process video for you today. I'm using my February kit from Kitaholic Kits, and I'll put a link in the description below for them. And I'm also using their sketch challenge for the month, which I just showed. It's at the top of the screen there. They have cut files with their monthly kits, so I chose to use this heart one, and I reduced it down in size so that I could make 2 hearts to put on the layout. Then I went through and cut up a whole bunch of the pattern paper to fit in all those little shapes. What are they called? They're like triangles. I think they're all triangles. Yeah. On the cutout, and the first one I did, but I hadn't actually pressed record on the video, so luckily I made 2 of them. So I did record this part of the process, but I do edit out a lot because it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. So first of all, I just drew out the shape of the heart, the outline, and then I did outline of each of the little pieces in the middle. And once I'd done that, it was just a matter of cutting out a shape that or a piece of pattern paper that fitted each size. It did take me a long time to do this. I think this layout took me about an hour and a half to do, because doing each of those pieces was quite time consuming, but you know, I got there in the end, and it was really fun, and I really liked the effect that it left at the end. So there you go. As you can see, I did trace each pattern onto the paper, cut it out, and then glued it where it should be on that white piece of cardstock, which was just a scrap left over from when I'd actually cut out the heart shapes to start with. So I don't show you all of this. I'm pretty sure this is the last bit I show you. So the screen will change, and yeah, here we go. So this is my completed second heart with all the little bits all over it, and it doesn't look that great right now. It looks like a bit of a mismatch of random bits and pieces, but once you put that white piece over the top, it kind of brings it all together, and yeah, it has a pretty cool effect. And all the papers are from the same collection. I think they're from Simple Stories. I'm not no, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they're from Simple Stories, one of their recent collections. And yeah, so they all go together, all the colors match, which is really, really nice. And the photo I'm using is of, you can probably tell, it's a photo of my belly and Sam's smiling face. It was the day that we told him that we were expecting another little baby to come along. So I had these stickers printed out, like that says bun in the oven, and then Frank was taking some photos, and Sam was just so excited. He would, as you can tell by the big smile on his face, he was super happy that he was going to be getting a brother or a sister, as we didn't know at that point. And the reason I picked this photo was the yellow on the sticker on my belly actually matches very, very closely to the yellow in the paper kit. So I was like, oh, perfect, this photo will work really nicely. And because it's quite neutral, sorry, that it's only really white and grey in the picture, so and skin. So that made it a very easy choice, and made it easy to be able to use a lot of other colours in the background as well. So part of the sketch was kind of like to have your photo in a Polaroid type of thing, or a bit of a frame. So I didn't have any frames that fitted that photo, or my frames were just a bit too small. So I decided that I would make my own just out of another scrap piece of cardstock and my paper trimmer. So I had 2 paper trimmers. I have this one which I actually really don't like. The blades on this just seem to run out so quickly, and it doesn't cut straight and it doesn't cut properly, and it actually really just annoys me, especially for cardstock and paper. Paper is the worst in that. I cannot cut paper in it without it ripping or tearing. Photos are all right though. And then I have my guillotine, which you would have seen in other videos. But that trimmer is good for doing cutouts, because it doesn't cut the whole way down. You can sort of place it where you want it to start and finish cutting. So I made that little frame and then decided I need to trim it down just a smidge. And I kind of wish I'd gone and done some outlining around that. I might go back and do that later on. So sorry this video is all a bit chopped up, because I did film for an hour and a half. I did have to cut out lots of bits of me fluffing around and doing silly things just to get it all to fit in, and I think it's sped up times 3 this time as well, just because it was so long. So on that frame I stuck a sticker down that was from the Simple Stories sticker pack. We got the whole pack of stickers in the kit, which is really awesome, and I do love Simple Stories products, and this one is no exception. And yeah, so I stuck that. I think it says Cherish, and it's in that same yellow color that's in the background paper. And then I outlined one of the hearts. As you can see here, maybe I did not speed that part of the video up. Sorry, that was taking ages. I only outlined one of the hearts because when I was laying them one on top of the other, they were kind of getting lost together. So I outlined the top one just to give it a bit more definition, and you could see where one started and one ended. And we also get this cool cut apart sheet, like a printable cut apart sheet. So I had cut all of the pieces out of that, which I wanted to use, and then these were the ephemera pack, also from that same Simple Stories collection. I'm going to see if I can find it. It is from the Love and Adore collection. That's what most of the kit was made up of this month, and I really liked it. I know it was meant to be like a Valentine's-y type of layout, but I managed to use a few of the pieces. They worked really well. So this 1 + 1 equals, and I use it as 2 because it'll be 2 kids basically. And I really wanted to use that that playing card, but I just couldn't get it to work, unfortunately. So I decided to get out some of the stickers. I think these were from Kaiser Craft. Yeah, actually I didn't end up using that. I got out some of the hearts that matched in with the collection and used those there with the 1 + 1, and the 1 + 1 was going to be my title when I first started. When I first found that one piece, that was going to be my title, but I actually do end up doing another title somewhere else. And then I was trying to go through this sheet of tiny word stickers to find something that would be appropriate to put on there, and I end up cutting it up because I didn't want the whole saying, and popped that underneath the little Cherish, and then I add the number 2. I think that was part of the kit. I can't remember. That might have been from my stash. I now can't remember. I'm sorry. I did try to use pretty much everything just from the kit that I received. Well, actually it was 2 kits. I got the main scrapbook kit, and then I also got the embellishment add-on kit for this month. And then I found this little like noughts and crosses tic-tac-toe piece which was rather sweet, and I could mount all of those other little bits on top of that. And then I think I started working on the title, maybe. I'm sorry, I filmed this last week, so I can't quite remember exactly what I did. I was trying to put some other embellishments. I thought it might have needed something up the top, but because there was so many colors up there already, it was hard to find anything to sort of go up there, and it was already quite busy, so I didn't do that. And I didn't put that sticker on there either, obviously. I know I do get out some of the resin pieces and pop them down on the layout. I do fluff around with this one a little bit. I apologize for that, and my rambling again, always with the rambling. It's very, very hot here today. We've got we're in the middle of our heat wave, unfortunately, so it's too hot for me to actually do any scrapbooking, so I am getting a whole bunch of voiceovers done for videos coming up for the rest of the month. I've already filmed pretty much most of the videos that for this month, but I hadn't got around to doing the voiceovers, so today I am taking the opportunity of it being too hot to actually do anything else but sit in front of the computer. And the boys are all watching movies today, and nothing that I really want to watch, so it works out perfect for us. So now I'd finally was happy with the layout and the design of the page, so I started sticking everything down. Yeah, so the hearts, and then I put the photo up on some foam adhesive just to give it a bit of depth, bit of volume. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then that thin washi, I really love it. It's gold glitter washi, and it's absolutely beautiful, but it just didn't want to stick for whatever reason. Maybe I touched it a few too many times, but it was not sticking at all. So I do actually, off camera later on, I do actually end up replacing that little bit of washi because it was driving me nuts that it wouldn't stick down. So I'm not sure if it was just me being me, or if it is just the washi, the type that it is, that it doesn't stick all that well. I think that was it. I did do a little bit of journaling, just a tiny bit. It was only like one little sentence. And this is the little resin pieces. They're from the Resin Rainbow, which is another company here in Australia, and I don't think I've ever had anything from them before. I don't remember getting any buying anything from them before, and I've only just seen their company recently, but they've got some amazing pieces, so I'm going to have to get some more goodies from them for myself, I think. And just popping some little heart sequins up the top. So many hearts in this layout. So many hearts. You can't have too many hearts, can you? It's just not possible. And then as I was sitting there, I found this little teeny tiny green resin heart, and I thought that would be absolutely perfect just to put up there to give it a bit of color, a bit of contrast to just having the gold. And now I think I move on to my title, perhaps. Maybe not. Who knows? I go all over the place. If you've watched any of my other videos, you would know that that's pretty much what I do. I can't. There's no sort of order or rhyme or reason for why I do things. So I started by just putting the title on the black cardstock, and then I decide that I actually want it to be on something else. So my title ends up being Another One to Love, and I chop up a few more of these tiny word stickers because why not? And then I was trying to see if there was a love on there, but there wasn't, unfortunately. I thought there would have been, because one of the puffy stickers would have been really neat on there. But I do find love on this sheet instead, so that worked out very, very well for a title made up just in the spare of the moment. And so this is when I decided that it needed to be grounded on something, because it kind of just looked like it was floating around in the middle of nowhere and just looked a bit odd. So I found this little flag and popped that in there, and it definitely helps make it sort of all come together and not look quite so floaty. And I do some stitching on this layout. I don't put it on camera because all you can see is the top of my sewing machine, and that would just be pointless. What was that? Oh, another little bit of washi. Oh, did I end up sticking that on? I can't remember if I did or not. I do. That was actually from one of the bits of packaging that had been, like, where they'd sealed the packaging down. So waste nothing is my motto, so I ended up popping that on there as well. And I didn't use that sticker, so I think this is when I go and get my sewing machine out. Oh no, that's what I end up journaling on. So it's only a teeny tiny little card, and all I end up writing was I think today we found out we're expecting number 2, or baby number 2 on the way, something along those lines. But then I had to go and find out what the date was that we actually found that out. So I was going through my calendar trying to find that was me going through my computer trying to find the photo, so I knew what date to put on there. And then just that little teeny bit of journaling. Sometimes you just don't need a lot at all, and this is one of those layouts. In fact, I'm pretty shocking for journaling on my layouts on a good day, so this to have something is pretty special. And this is when I get my sewing machine out. Nope, it's not. I trim it down. Oh, that's right, because I mount it on some white cardstock to give it a bit of a white border around the edge. It's not very much. I only trim off a couple of millimeters on each side. But it needed something. It was just, there was too much black, unfortunately. Actually, maybe I'll add some splatters to the corner of this. I know I did this layout last week, like over a week ago, but now I'm looking back at the video and I'm like, oh, I could definitely add some splatters into this layout. I might go back and do that. Does anyone else do that? They've finished a layout and you put it away, and then you look at it later on and go, oh, I could add to that. I could do some more to that. It needs something else. I think I've done it to quite a few layouts recently. I should never say I'm finished with anything because there's always more that you could add or take away. Sometimes things need to be removed when you've just done too much. And that does make it better. And there's this tiny little bit of something that got stuck on there and it keeps annoying me. And yeah, see that I did all my stitching. I only did a little bit. I stitched across the 2 hearts, and I stitched across the bottom of where my title, that little tag is. I just stitched across the bottom of that. So nothing extreme, but yeah, it just gave it a little bit of something to look at. Anyway, that is this layout done, guys. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.